Hey, this is Madeline Merlo, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
Congratulations. Champagne Night is a hit. It's a bop. It's like the perfect like party anthem. Talk to me about creating this track, the initial process of starting it.
Yeah, so this song was originally called "I'll Drink to That" when I brought it onto Songland, and but essentially the sentiment's the same. It was always a celebration. It was like writing it. It was like, what do 20,000 country music fans want to raise a drink to? And that was like that was the purpose behind the song. We were like, we just want something that makes people feel good. And so it started off with "I'll Drink to That," and then when I pitched it to Lady A, they were like, we love that, but we are like, as a band, notorious for the really like unique kind of lyrics and colorful and furniture in the room, as we call it, in the songwriter world. It's like the bones are there. What furniture can we add to make it more interesting? So I got paired with Shane McNally, who is literally my dream co-writer, collaborator, and wrote that song and worked really hard on it, spent hours in the studio together, and then turned it into a certified bop. And yeah, night, and it's so good, and I'm so proud of it. So I'm so excited for all the success that it's seeing right now.
How cool was it for you to perform the original song to them, and then right there and then, like, Lady Antebellum just started, a new jam with it, and then Shane just added on to it, and then like, how cool was that experience for you?
Yeah, it was definitely like I can take myself back to that moment where you come in and you're just like, hello everyone, and my hands are a little shaky and you're nervous and stuff, and then you can see they're immediately like bopping along to it, and then everyone kind of gets to work in that moment where everyone's wheels start spinning, and Ryan grabs the guitar and they start throwing out ideas. That's so true to what a real co-writing session is like, where if you come into the room and you're like, I have this idea, have this melody kind of concept, you can watch everybody get to work. And so that's what's so cool about Songland, is they captured that moment for everyone at home to watch as well. So it was great. I mean, it seemed like a bit of a dream thing. I'm like, is this really happening? But I mean, I loved all of their ideas, and the moment that I, performed it for them, and it stopped being a song for me and it started to be a song for them. So I was happy to rewrite it and cater to exactly what they wanted to make it fit their brand and their artistry.
If you put Champagne Night and then you put I'll Drink to That together, like it doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like they are the same song. So, when you went back to reconstruct the track, what kind of challenges did you feel you kind of faced in order to create Champagne Night?
I think that, lyrically, so much of it changed. Melodically, that main top melody off the chorus is that same plastic costume, like that one's still the same. And like I said, the sentiment was the same, but at that point, they were super clear in the episode what they wanted it to do. And I think that was, maybe a leg up for me, because they had basically renamed it in the room. They were like, we like this concept. Like Charles was singing Champagne Night, which is, and he said or Shane said in the room that day, we're drinking beer on a champagne night. So we had those bones to kind of start with. And then, speaking with Shane, when we were in the studio together, he was like, I think we can win this, but we got to rewrite everything. We got to come up with some like a funkier melody off the top of the song as well. And I was super, super down. And what you don't see in the episode is, again, the hours that we spent rewriting it. And a lot of people are like, oh, Madeline, like they just kind of took your song and changed it so much. But I was a part of all of those changes. Like, right. I feel super to the new version as well, but you don't see all of those hours obviously in the episode.
Right. And did Lady Antebellum actually jump into the studio with you while you were recreating the song, or did you just hear their input from the live session?
Yeah. So what you see on the episode is quite shortened. Like when I performed the song the first time, you stood there for quite a while as you went back and forth. They had their input, their ideas melodically and lyrically. And then me and Shane went in the studio and spent all day kind of rewriting it based off of what they originally said. Yeah. And then when they were cutting the song as well, too, there were changes made. So it was kind of made over 3 kind of sessions, I would say, for the final version to come out.
That's so cool. Now, you mentioned earlier that Shane has been someone you've kind of idolized. So getting to work with him, like, what do you feel, or how do you feel the chemistry between the two of you was in the studio?
I thought it was great. He has such a reputation of being like super funny and outgoing and hilarious and talented and all those things. And he was exactly like what I thought he would be. I think he walked in and I had just got a spray tan and I was talking about how I felt I was like a nugget, and he was like, we're going to be best friends. And me and him clicked immediately. And I think, after you spend, hours in the studio doing something as intimate as writing a song, you really do feel connected to that person after. And he's been such a champion for me. And, when I walked out to perform Champagne Night, he had turned to Lady A and he was like, Madeline put in so much work. She's such a great songwriter. She is such a star. Like, we did this for you guys. We think you're going to love it. So he really shouted me out so beautifully and has been so supportive this entire journey. Same with Lady A. They've been so incredible to me and bringing up my own personal music when they didn't need to. And so, yeah, everyone, front to back, the experience was so great.
I love that, on the music video that they released, they also included you in it. Which is like, it's so cool because I feel like as a songwriter, you don't usually get those opportunities where it's like, here, this is the song I created for you. And then it kind of ends there. But the fact that you were able to still be part of the video and then they wanted to let you know about the radio or about the single hitting radio, like that's such a cool experience.
And that's just a testament to them, like as people and onto country music. Like, this community is so supportive, and they always say, like, we remember when we were starting out, and there's always people that pull each other up and help each other. All you really need is people to kind of take a shot on you and believe in you and root for you. And yeah, they didn't need to put me in the video, and that's how they announced that they were releasing it to country radio, was that Zoom video. Like, they didn't need to do that. I was so floored and shocked. Like, I did not see that coming. Like, no song from Songland has ever been released to radio. And as a songwriter, that's the Everest. Like, that is the ultimate goal, is for a band like Lady Antebellum, who has the potential to turn that song into a #1 song, to cut your song and put it to country radio. Like, that's what we work so hard for. So once in a lifetime opportunity that they're giving me, and I'm just so thankful for them.
That's so cool. Now you're about to drop, actually by the time everybody's watching this, your 3 new songs are going to be dropping. So, now that you had that experience, did you go back into the studio and kind of recreate the songs that you were already working on because you learned new ways to write, or you learned new ways to kind of think of melodies or just sounds in general?
Yeah, absolutely. We filmed before I kind of went in the studio for these new songs, and I was really stoked to bring kind of what I learned through that experience to this new music, and definitely made some last minute changes, fine tuning, and production changes as well too. So I think that these 3 songs really showcase, me as an artist, and they're a product of like me writing songs every day for the last 2 years, and I feel like they represent me. And with this little light Songland is shining on me, I feel like it's a perfect time to release my own stuff, and like I said, it represents me so well. So I'm so excited to have it out in the world.
Kiss Kiss is the single, right? So talk to me about this track, and like why did you feel this one was the first single from these 3 songs that you're about to release? Yeah,
so ultimately these 3 songs, I wanted to put them out together because they tell like a bit of a heartbreak story in circle. And Kiss Kiss is kind of the first phase. It's the reckless phase where Kiss Kiss is about, one broken-hearted person finding somebody else and kind of getting through it together. And it's like, we should just kiss right now, whatever. We're both, hurting over our exes. And so it felt like step 1 of the story. So that definitely was one thing, but it feels really fresh. Like, it's got trap hats and vocal samples, and we're kind of blending the genre a little bit. And I've also been I've played that song out a couple times in Canada, at a couple of shows that I had and watched it really resonate and hit the audience. So that's always a great indication that, you know, you've got a good song that people are going to like. So it was kind of the obvious choice for me, but I think more so like having it the beginning of the story was probably the first reason.
Do you see a body of work like an EP or a sophomore album in the works? Or do you want to kind of focus the singles game? I feel like it's kind of hard to figure out whether EPs or albums or just singles are what resonates to the audience right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to tell. We definitely I have more music that I want to drop in the fall. I think it'll probably be part of an EP, but you're so right. Like the industry is changing so much, and even like releasing 3 songs, I feel like that's like an acceptable amount of music to digest at one time. But more than that, it's hard. It's hard to keep people's attention. You know, we're watching 15-second TikToks, and that's kind of like what we're doing now. And so, yeah, I think dropping them in smaller pieces is cool. John Mayer, that's how he released, you know, a record that he had in waves, he called it, and it was wave 1, 5 songs, wave 2, 5 songs. Right. And I thought that was so cool. So I kind of thought like dropping 3 at one time would be a good amount for people to take in. Now,
to kind of close us off, how different was Madeline Merlo from Free Soul compared to Madeline today?
Oh, gosh. Some of those songs I wrote when I was 17, like I look at that record and I'm like, what the heck? And I think if you don't look back and feel like low-key embarrassed about your past work, then maybe you're not growing. But so different, such a different person. Obviously musically, like writing-wise, it's not even in the same ballpark just because, I mean, moving to Nashville was such a game-changing move for me as a writer. I've grown so much. And also as a person, like she was just young and didn't really know what was going on. And I still don't know what's going on, but I feel like I'm just like, it's the evolution of being a human being. So very different, very, very different.